Go through, we're going to see students' information. Scroll down, keep going. Student dependency status. This is what determines whether a student has to provide parents' income information or not. So until they can check one of those boxes or basically answer it yes, parents' information is going to be required. So guess what, parents? Look at that first box. I was born before January 1, 1988. Yeah, so that basically would make them, for this year, they have to be 24 before they get to answer that. So that's the age that you're looking at until they can hit one of those other ones. Age is about 24 for them to be considered independent and not have to provide your information. So in other words, you're financially responsible for their education for quite a few years. Responsibility comes from the family first, then the government, okay? But the government's there if you need them. That's what financial aid's all about. So anyway, there's a lot of different things, you know, if they were a veteran, they went on active duty, if they, for some reason, become homeless, or they are in a legal guardianship. There's a lot of things that are questionable about with legal guardianships, foster youth, what actually is a definition of a homeless youth. So all those things, if they are able to meet one of those requirements, they are able to not have to provide parental information. And a lot of times you may have a young person living with you that is not your biological child. They may fit into one of these categories. So always be aware of it. Scroll a little more. Okay, now we're into parent information. Bam. You know, here it is. Did your parents file or will file a 2010 income tax return? Okay, so I have one of the parents say, well, why does it say did your parents? Why do I want to report my parents? Because you're not the one filling this out. It's the student. Oh my gosh, I have parents, they cause, because it goes back and forth. Student, parents info, student, parents info. And so when the parent tries to be helpful filling this out, they forget that they're the parent and they start filling out the student information as themselves. And so then it's like, okay, wait a minute, this information does not make any sense, and then it causes corrections, which causes delays in processing. So anyway, while parents can be helpful, it really is targeted for the student completing this and answering the questions. But again, what's the status on the income tax return? My parents have already completed a tax return. My parents will file, but have not completed it yet. And my parents are not going to file an income tax return. That's how it knows you're either estimating or you're not required or whatever. This is how you're able to complete the Fafsa as early as January. And then go back later and make corrections, not be penalized as missing any deadlines for like Cal Grant. Okay? Yes.
Which one do you check if you're going to estimate?
Will file. Basically, will file. Okay, so, and then they're asking about the adjusted gross income. They do this for both student and parents on different pages. They do break down the income that was earned by the father versus the mother. And I guess it is calculated. It gives you more of a break if both parents are working, no matter, even if it's, you know, one makes $1,000 and the other one makes $40,000. Doesn't matter, but the fact when both parents are working, that again, it's an offset to the need analysis formula, because they realize it's more of a hardship when two parents are working versus just one parent working, which kind of can work against you. You think, well, it's like, well, one's receiving unemployment, one's still working. But again, when you're receiving unemployment, it's not always, you know, a big amount. So either way, your adjusted gross income is going to kind of cover that shortfall of the earned income. But either way, scroll a little more. And then we're going on to additional information, untaxed income. Sometimes for parents, when you have any money that goes into tax deferred, so they take it off your paycheck every month and what have you, and then when you get your W-2, and there's that little box 12 that has, oh, the little amount that, you know, was the deferred amount that didn't get taxed, that to Fafsa is considered untaxed income. So there's all these little things that they look at, and it'll be very specific. And on the mail-in version, I'll be able to show you a little more detail. When you're in filling out the FAFSA, they always have helpful hints on the right. So wherever your cursor is sitting in a box, and that's where the blank is, and they're asking for this information, helpful hints tells you exactly what kind of information they want from you, what are they looking for, and it tells you very specifically, like even when you're doing, using the 1040 hard copy right next to you, it'll tell you, if you filed this type of 1040 for adjusted gross income, we want you to get it from this line. For income tax paid, we want you to get it from this line, and it'll break it